Hey Vitality crew, this is Dr. Stacy at Vitality Chiropractic. I want to talk a little bit today about something that some of you may have seen in the office is our detox kit program. And so we just stocked up on a few of these for those of you who might be interested. And what it is it is a like a 10-day reset. It's not super comprehensive. It's not super lengthy. It's just a nice little way to kind of reset going into the spring. And, we do our spring cleaning, and this is a way to do a little bit of spring cleaning within ourselves. So one of the things that we talk about, initially when people come into the office is that, the stress that we have outside, outside of our world, outside of our office, when people aren't here getting adjusted, could be physical stress, could be chemical stress, could be mental and emotional stress. And a lot of times people think of physical stress as the number one reason why someone would go to a chiropractor. Like, I shoveled, well, not this winter, but I shoveled and hurt my back, or had a car accident, or, I sit all day and I don't move, those sorts of things. And absolutely those things do bring people into our office for sure. But the other two are really quite important as well. And chemical stress is something I want to talk about today. And it amounts to what we put on and in our bodies. So what we absorb, what we breathe, what we eat. Talking to some patients, some people are very aware of all this. And some people are less aware. So, if we, let's say today I used a magnesium cream. And we know that we can absorb magnesium through the skin. The truth is we can absorb everything through the skin. So what we're putting on our body every day can have an impact if it's full of, endocrine disruptors like fragrance and things like that. So the things that ironically make us smell good and feel good are sometimes not so good for us. Bottom line is that when we talk about the chemicals and the things that we're exposed to, some of which we can control, some of which we would have a hard time controlling. There's a lot of things in our environment that we're exposed to through no fault of our own, really. I mean, as I look around this room, there's tons of things, right? I don't recommend that you obsess about that. It's not a really good way to go about life, but just knowing that, hey, you know what? We're more exposed than generations before us, for sure. By some estimates, let me look at my note here. It said that 2010, so 15 years ago almost, the President's Cancer Panel said with nearly 80,000 chemicals on the market in the US, many of which are used by millions of Americans in their daily lives, are un- or understudied and largely unregulated. Exposure to potential environmental carcinogens is widespread. And at that time, a New York Times journalist noted that only a few hundred of those 80,000 have been tested for safety. So bottom line is we're exposed to this stuff, right? Babies are born with this stuff in their bloodstreams already. Anyway, and this is not to be depressing. It is to say that one of the things we should be thinking about is, okay, how are we supporting our body in that pathway? Now, our body is detoxifying constantly. Our liver's doing what it's supposed to do. However, I always say we are like a big chemistry experiment, and our body needs certain things to complete the reactions that it needs to do to break down some of these toxins. So, right, if we're not getting enough nutrients, if we're not getting some of the right things in our diet, we can be stalling in one of those reactions to get rid of chemicals, right? So we might not be finishing that process, and when we don't fully get rid of toxins, they end up getting stored. One of the places our body likes to shove those so that it's out of the way, not going through our bloodstream and not doing damage, is that it stores them in fat cells. So, for what better or worse, when people hear that, sometimes they're motivated to do a little detoxification because it's hard to lose fat cells if they're serving a purpose, and one purpose being sequestering toxins, right? So, what we're doing with this program, and again, there are longer and there are definitely more comprehensive approaches to really fully supporting detox systems. This is a 10-day program. This is the tip of an iceberg. We've done ones that have been 3 weeks. We've done ones that have been 6 weeks, which are really, if someone's really struggling, those are, there are ways to do some of those programs that really support the pathways before we jump right in. This one is really gentle. And what it does is it just cuts out a lot of the foods that might be creating inflammation, allergens, eating just really whole foods, getting rid of the processed stuff. So there is a bit of an elimination diet, which is kind of nice because if you've ever done an elimination diet, you get the opportunity to see how foods are affecting you. Meaning, boy, if I eat toast for breakfast, by 9 o'clock, I feel like I could take a nap, right? So that's something that one might learn from doing an elimination diet. So really good opportunity to just touch on that. But then it also has some targeted supplements that kind of help with gently supporting the liver in its processes, its enzymes that help break things down and get rid of them. Also almost like taking a multivitamin. The shake that's in this program is what I kind of take almost daily as a multivitamin, just to kind of help support. It has a lot of botanicals and what's the word I'm looking for? Some of the nutrients, right? Not the vitamins and minerals, but the phytonutrients and phytochemicals that are in plants. So almost like a greens type product. So anyway, if you are interested and you are generally, like I said, this short program is kind of nice for somebody who's already feeling like they're doing, not a lot of major health issues, maybe some allergies that are cropping up, maybe your sinus stuff, that kind of thing. Just feeling a little less energetic, or just want to try an elimination diet, want to support the body. It's a great thing to do going into the spring. If you love it, we can always talk about doing one a little bit more intensive later on in the year, but I just wanted you guys to be aware. Take a look at those things, think about that a little differently. Like I said, don't obsess about it. We're going to be exposed to these things, but I think the more we support our bodies, the better. In fact, they did a research little project on an Italian industrial plant where people were having higher incidences of bladder cancer. And what they found is that the folks that did develop cancer had less effective detox pathways, right? So we want to maximize the fact that our body can do these things. It just needs a little bit of the right nutrition. So please talk to Dr. Ed or myself if you have further questions. And we will be at the Work in Progress WIP Fitness Health Fair, Wellness Fair, next Saturday. No, I'm sorry, Saturday the 23rd. I need my stuff straight here. And we'll do a little bit more of a dive into some information about this. So I hope to see you there. It's from 11 to 1 on March 23rd, Saturday at WIP Fitness by the Apache Mall. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the sunshine.